Basketball has changed dramatically over the years. The game has gone from slow-paced battles in the paint to fast three-point heavy game where players can score from almost anywhere. But every decade has one player who stood above the rest. So, who's the best basketball player from every decade? From the 1950s, I have to give it to George Mikan. Before Michael Jordan, LeBron James, and Bill Russell, there was George Mikan. Mikan was one of the first true superstars in basketball, standing over 6'10". He was incredibly dominant near the basket during a time where the game was much smaller and slower. He could score, rebound, and block shots better than almost anyone else of his time. In fact, Mikan was so dominant that the NBA had to change some of its rules to make it harder for him to score. He helped turn basketball into a sport people wanted to watch. George Mikan was so dominant that the game had to change because of him. Now for the 1960s, I have to give it to Bill Russell. The 1960s belonged to him. Russell was not the highest scoring player in the league at the time, but he understood something extremely important. Winning is the ultimate goal. He was one of the greatest defenders and rebounds in basketball has ever seen. His ability to protect the basket and lead his team made the Boston Celtics nearly unstoppable. Russell won 11 championships, including 8 championships in a row. That is a level of winning that may never be repeated. While other players were trying to become the biggest stars, Bill Russell was focused on one thing, and that thing was winning. And he did it more than anyone else. Now for the 1970s, it has to go to Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. He was definitely the best of the 1970s. His signature shot, the skyhook, became one of the most unstoppable moves in basketball history. Because of his height and incredible skill, defenders had almost no way to stop him. But Kareem was much more than just one move. He was an amazing scorer, rebounder, and defender. He also continued playing at an elite level for an incredibly long time. Even when other superstars came and went, Kareem kept performing at the highest level. Kareem didn't just dominate in the 70s. He was so great that he remained one of the best players for multiple generations. The 1980s were ruled by Magic Johnson. Magic was one of the most unique players basketball had ever seen. At around 6'9", he was incredibly tall for a point guard, but he had the passing ability and vision of someone much smaller. He could see plays developing before they happened. His passes were creative, exciting, and sometimes seemed impossible. Magic also helped lead the Los Angeles Lakers to multiple championships and made basketball incredibly entertaining to watch. Magic Johnson didn't just play basketball. He turned every game into a show, and he was usually the one controlling the entire performance. Now for the 90s, it has to go to Michael Jordan. Jordan became one of the greatest players in basketball history by dominating both ends of the court. He was an incredible scorer, a great defender, and one of the most competitive athletes ever. He won 6 NBA championships and never lost in the NBA Finals. Every time, the pressure became bigger. Jordan seemed to become even better. But what made Jordan truly special was his ability to make the biggest moments feel like they belonged to him. Most players tried to avoid pressure. Michael Jordan seemed to search for it. When the game was on the line, Jordan didn't want somebody else taking the shot. He wanted the ball. Now for the next century, the 2000s, has to go to Kobe Bryant, the Black Mamba. Kobe was one of the most skilled basketball players ever. His footwork, shooting, ball handling, and the ability to score from almost anywhere with everybody on him made him extremely difficult to defend. But what made Kobe different was his mentality. He believed that every part of his game could be improved. He practiced constantly and treated basketball like a skill that had to be perfected. Kobe won championships, scored 81 points in a single game, and became one of the most feared competitors in the NBA. Now for the 2010s, it's difficult, but it has to go to LeBron James. LeBron was one of the most complete basketball players the world has ever seen. He could score, pass, rebound, defend, and control the pace of the entire game. He was so versatile that he could basically play every position on the court. One of his most famous moments came in 2016 when he helped the Cleveland Cavaliers come back from a 3-1 record in the NBA Finals to win the championship. That victory was especially important because Cleveland had never won an NBA championship before that. LeBron didn't just want to be the best player on the court. He often had to be the scorer, passer, leader, and defender all at the same time. Now, I know you guys might get mad, but for the 2020s, I have to give it to Jokic. So far, my pick for the best player of 2020 is Jokic. Jokic is different from almost every other superstar we've seen before. He doesn't rely on incredible speed or explosive athleticism. Instead, he uses his basketball IQ. He can score from inside and outside, grab rebounds, and make passes that most players wouldn't even think about attempting. He sees the court like a point guard, even though he plays center. What makes him so difficult to stop is that you never know what he's going to do next. Jokic proves that you don't have to be the fastest or most athletic player to completely control the basketball game. Sometimes the smartest player on the court is the most dangerous. From George Mikan changing the rules, to Bill Russell changing what it meant to win, to Michael Jordan becoming a global icon, and LeBron James showing that one player can do almost anything, every decade has had a superstar who changed basketball forever. But now the real question is, who will become the face of the 2030s? I don't know, guys. It might be me. I mean, I'm pretty good in the court too.